Jez here from nigezza.co.uk, and I'm here to show you how I made this project. So it's another mini album like the one I did before, but I've used a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock and matted the DSP onto it. So I made this album as part of the Pootles video hop, and if you've joined me today on that, welcome, and if you're one of my normal viewers, welcome too. And I urge you to click down below and go on hop round all the other members of the team, and we are showcasing the DSP because it's on offer at the moment. Buy 4 but only pay for 3. And so these are Tranquil textures that I've used, which is one of the DSPs that are on offer. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this project, and I hope you will go and enjoy the rest of the teams as well. So to make this project, I'm going to use the Tranquil textures, and I'm using these 2 sheets here, probably because it's purpley and I love purple and I love Night of Navy. So I love that. Quite like, thought that went well. Not so much that. I'm going to ignore that blue. It can be there, but I probably won't use it. Okay, so I'm going to basically do the same scoring as I did before for my other album. There's no point in reinventing the wheel. The dimensions were pretty good. We'll just be actually cutting it slightly different. Okay, so we are going to score at 4 inches and 8 inches. And then we're going to turn 90 degrees or a quarter turn, and we're going to score at 2.5, 5.5, 5 3/4, 8 3/4, and 9. And that's what we need for our basic album. We need to do another score on this flap, but I'm going to do some cutting first before we do that. But we'll do some folding and burnishing. So we are going to cut down these lines here. So I'm going to get out my big scissors and cut down to that first score line there. And then I can score on that bit there where I want to score. So this needs scoring at 2 1/8. So 2 1/8. Come down and give it a score. So that gives it a slightly wider gusset than these 2, because it's got to go over 3 sections, and whereas they're only going over 2 sections. So I'll just burnish that one. So when they're folded up, that's going to go over there, and when I add pockets and things, it does need to be that little bit wider. Okay, now we need to cut up these bits here to allow that to fold. So we'll cut straight up to the score line. You could do this on the trimmer if you wanted to. I can't remember if I did it on the trimmer last time or not. And then you cut that bit off. And you're going to do that on all of these sections. So I'll do another one just to show you. Down to there. Down to there. And then just cut this off like so. And so that allows that to fold up and fold over. So we're going to cut those. So this is what it looks like with those all cut out. And now for these, I am going to trim them diagonally across to form 2 diagonal pockets. When I did it last time, I'd cut them off completely, but we're going to do 2 diagonal pockets. And then on this one, I'm going to cut about 1 inch off there to make a deep pocket, and then I'm going to cut this off at 2 inches to make a little flap over, so that's an encased pocket. On my last one I used it so you could put a gift card in, but you do whatever you want. And then we'll add pockets to these in a different way. So first thing to do is cut these diagonals. So we're going to cut from there to that corner. So we'll put it on the trimmer with that top diagonal there, bottom diagonal there, and cut it down, and we'll save that for something else. And then we'll do the same on this one that we're going from that bit there to that bit there. So line them up on the runner. So that's that bit done. So we've got 2 diagonal pockets, like so, going in the opposite direction. So that will be a tuck up, and then we're going to make this the smaller pocket, smaller flap. So these measure 4 inches, so I want to cut it at 2. So if we put that at 2, I might go 2.5. Like that. Yep, and then we'll cut 1 inch down on this one. So that's going to flap over like that. And then we've got these bits here, which could just be nice big photo mats. Haven't quite decided yet. We'll see how we go. Right, so now I just want to bring in my corner rounder. And I'm going to round some corners. So let's round these ones. Okay, so I've cut my mats. I will put all measurements for the mats on my blog because there's quite a lot of them, and they will be sort of dependent really on your cutting and your scoring. So you might have to adjust them by a 1/16. of an inch here or there. So if we look down here, so I've done this pocket here and made a little tag for it. So I'll show you how I did that. So I've chosen to go with this side of the paper for the background and the dots for this one. Now I did think that I would cut a rectangle, cut it in half would be on there and half would be on there, but actually because I've cut it that way, you could cut this pocket the other way, and so that would work, but it doesn't because it's the wrong way and I don't want that side. If you use paper where you're happy to flip it, it will work, but I wouldn't. And you've got to be careful because I cut this 3 times and cut it wrong every time. So I've just cut it together. It's okay. I'll probably stick something on that so it'll be fine. So that's that little bit there. Now before I stick it on, I'll stick this bit on, but I need to round that side there so it matches. And then I'm just using some Tombow so that I've got a slight bit of wigglage. When it comes to bit of a splodge there, it comes to sticking it down. And then I slightly stretched the pocket, so I did just take my bone folder, and this is all going to come flying off. That one's not stuck down. And I just kind of pulled the paper slightly to break the fibres a bit, to make it slightly easier for the pocket, so that it slightly comes up a bit now, so you've got room in there now to stuff. You've got journaling cards, you can put other memorabilia in there. Okay, so let's get this stuck down, and then you will see I've done a little border using the border punch, which I just think finishes off the edge of the pocket really nicely. And then we just need a very thin bead along the bottom here. To stick that down. And then I cut my border punch, and that's gonna stick along the edge there. I'm going to overlap it slightly for trimming off afterwards, but I will trim a little bit off the edge there so I don't put too much glue on. And then just a little bead to hold it in place. By the time this video goes out, I will have done my mini album class, so I will have on my Facebook page pictures of what everybody made. We might not actually do this one. Pocket, and then to make the tag, I've just taken a piece here. I'm sure this is 2 1/4 by 3.5, and what I did was I used the pretty bit and I just did it on opposite sides. And then rounded all the sides, and that just rounds the corner nicely. I like that. And then I did a bit of stamping. I've used Timeless Textures, so I've used that one, and I've used that lacy effect one from Touches of Textures. The Fresh Fig, and I just sort of went diagonally across like so. Stamped off once, stamped on, stamped off once, turned it, stamped back. You can of course do more stamping on it with stick embellishments. I may well cut out some die cuts, but that's that. And then to make this photo mat, I took another stamp. God, why's my brain not working? Another stamp from this set to go round the edges, and I've gone round in Night of Navy. I thought this set really complemented the papers really well. And then what I do is I go in the middle and then just to the sides a bit, like so. In the middle and then out to the sides a bit. What I like about this stamp is you don't get harsh edges, you know, like you might do if you sponged it. Okay, and so that's like a nice little photo mat there. So I've cut these for the flaps, so I'm going to magnetise this. So I'm going to stick the magnet on the underside, I think. So I'm going to stick that flap on the top there, and I'll probably do something else on top of it. So I said I'm going to put all the measurements for all the little bits over on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. I'm not going to reel them all out now because there's so many, and it'll just be like a maths lesson. And you know, I liked maths, but I know a lot of people don't. So that offcut there has come from when I cut this one. So that's just going to stick in there, and then I'm going to use this side of this one, and I've inked it around the edges in Night of Navy to stick that up there. But I'm going to stick my magnets in place first. So I've got my little magnets. I think I'm going to use the tiny teeny ones for this. They're actually bigger than my glue dots. My paper piercer was there, but it's not. So I'll put that on there like so, and then we'll stick another glue dot on the other side, and then that one's going to stick under there like so. So they're now stuck in place. So I can stick that on top of there now. Bead outside of these. So whatever goes in there, I'll have to just be able to grab it. There we go, that's that. So now we need to do this pocket here. So I've cut pocket there, and I'm going to mat it with Night of Navy and a bit of this purpley colour there, and I'm going to put that behind. So we'll stick that behind first. So I've been and decorated all the back bits, so I've put some photo mats there in the same way as I did for the front. I've done 3 diagonal pockets in the same way as I did for the front. I've left that bit blank for the moment because that's going to be the inside cover. We've got to decorate and put magnets on, and then that's going to be the back. So they fold up like so, and then that's the bit that we're going to attach the magnets to. Now, I did use the same measurements as I did for the DSP, but because this is cardstock and it's got layers on it, it's slightly thicker, so I'm going to have to adjust the measurements for over there. So I'm going to score that again, and I will put the correct measurements over on my blog when I've done it. So we want to go another 1/8 over. So we had scored it at 2 1/8. I think we might have to go at 2. I think we might have to go over another one. 1 7/8. So I quite actually like it sometimes when you have these rows. Gives it quite a nice finish, that. Yeah, I quite like that. Oh, maybe I'll keep that as a deliberate thing. I will, however, give it a little bit of a fold and a burnish, otherwise it's not going to go over. Oh. The middle one's not going to want to go over, but I think that'll be fine, because now it kind of goes with the shape of what's there. Yep, liking that. Right, so I've cut the sections to go on the front and on the back. There we are. Sorry about that. I don't quite know what I did there. I didn't stick these on because I thought I'd be doing the magnets, but actually I'm not. So that's going on the underside and that's going on the outside. So I will stick those down and come back. So for the closure bit, I am using the Detailed with Love, and I'm going to use that stamp there. So many of my smiles begin with you, because I think that's quite a nice thing to put on the middle of a on the front of a scrapbook. And then I'm going to use the There's So Much to Love About You. Now I'm using the stitched shape frame lips, and I'm going to use the ovals to do this. And I have already done a bit of preparation, so I've cut one out in Whisper White, and then I stamped that stamp on a piece of Whisper White and cut it out, and then I've cut out a blue one. So this is the one that I want to stamp on. I would ordinarily actually stamp it first and then cut it out, but I wasn't quite sure what we're going to do. Right, so these are the bits that need the magnetic on. So if that's going on the front there like that, just a bold statement, I really quite like that, because the DSP is quite stunningly beautiful. And then I'm going to stick this on the front so that it covers that so we can't see it. And I'm using that as a bit of a border, and I think I'm going to have some coming the other side. So there we are, that's going to be a nice bold statement. And so we're going to stick the magnet under this and then a magnet under this. So that's where the fastening's going to go. So I'm going to use the bigger ones for the front cover, because it might be a little bit more work for it. There we go. Stick that there like that, put a glue dot on the top of there, close that over, and off it comes. Superb. So then that can get stuck over, and that's it, lovely fastened like that. So now we just need to decorate that front bit. So I've got my 2 stitched ovals and I've cut that one in half. So I'm just gonna put a bit around the edge, glue this on. So I've just got a bit peeking out. Same on the other side. You could always cut 2. And then that's going to get stuck down, but just on the one side. So if I just don't put it on the second blue bit, just put it on that works beautifully. So you might notice when you've done it that these little bits here might need a little bit of trimming, like mine do. So just come in with your scissors and cut it across. And check the bottom, what that's like. So we need to cut that little bit off there. That one looks okay. Right, so I'll finish embellishing and bring it back. Okay, so I finished doing some decoration. I just wanted to show you what's left of the 2 12 by 12 sheets of the DSP that I used. So plenty of there to use for other things. I have done a video on using scraps if you want to check that out. But these, there's enough there for quite a few things, and then there's a bit more of this left that could be mats for boxes and put on top of cards. So still quite a bit left. So this is what the finished product is. So front and back, fairly plain. Open it up. I did reinforce this because it was sort of bending slightly, so needed another bit on the side. That's from Colourful Seasons, and I've used some die cut elements. That's from Ribbon of Hope, and on the inside here I've used the swirl from Swirly Snowflakes. I really like that. It's quite versatile, I think, and it finishes off quite nicely. And so I've put this swirl on every one of my diagonal pockets, and I just got a little circle there to cover up that bit there. I was going to put more on, but I actually think less is more in this instance. So there we have it. And I put a couple of leaves on the bottom there like that. So that is my finished album. So I hope you like it. It is very similar to my other album, but this one, as I say, is cardstock and matted, which is quite good if you've got a directional DSP. Love this paper, beautiful colours, love the mix of Fresh Fig and Night of Navy. So, hope you like that. All the measurements for all the mats and everything will be on my blog, nigezza.co.uk, and there is a link directly down there to it. And pop over there, and if you want to buy, take advantage of buy 3, get 1 free, so you get 4 on the DSPs. All the details for that will be over there, and you can click a link to my shop if you would like to buy any off me, and I'd be delighted to welcome you as a customer. Okay, thank you for joining me today, and down below there is a link to carry on hopping around the rest of the Pootles and see what they've done with this beautiful DSP. Okay, bye for now.